Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. For today's video, we will be doing a video that was actually voted by you guys on my Instagram. Earlier this week I did a poll if you guys wanted to see a full face drugstore / affordable makeup look, or if you guys wanted to see my foundation routine and affordable drugstore makeup one. So if you guys want to see how to get this look using affordable products, then please keep watching. Okay, so starting off, we're going to use the Colourpop pencil, and I'm going to just use the spoolie end and brush out my brows. And then using the pencil side, I'm going to kind of map out my shape and then lightly fill in any gaps that I have. Now, NYX also does have a slim eyebrow pencil, just like this and just like the Anastasia Brow Wiz. I have tried it before and I'm not so much a fan of it. I felt that it was too waxy. So I tried to look for another alternative, and this is just what I picked up, and I actually really like it. So now that I got my shape, I'm going to kind of fill in, like I said, lightly where I need filling in. And I'll kind of do with the tail. And you guys have to excuse my nails if that's what you're looking at. I had to color a client's hair yesterday and I forgot to put on gloves. So just going in, like I said, all over where I need to fill in these gaps. Now I'm going to go in with the Tinted Brow Mascara. And I'm going to just go over the hairs, brushing them. So it's going to keep them tamed but also add a little bit of color. So that's why I didn't go in too heavy with the pencil. So to clean up our brows, we're going to go in with this e.l.f. 16-hour Camo Concealer. It literally is one of my favorites and I do use it on the daily. So it was no question which concealer I was going to use. I'm just going to kind of dot it like that, and I'll put some here. Using concealer around my brows to clean them up is a good trick I like to do, because even though I haven't done my eyebrows, it really helps it give a cleaner look and helps conceal some of those hairs that don't need to be there. So I'm just taking a flat brush and just moving the concealer along the brow shape, just that way it can look really clean and you have nice shape. So the good thing about using this concealer is we can also put it on our eyes, which we will be using as a eyeshadow primer. It's nice because it'll give us a nice base for if you're going to use color eyeshadow, and then it's going to help the eyeshadow lasts longer. It'll really make colors pop. I actually have a lot of drugstore makeup favorites. Foundations, primers, a lot of the skin stuff like I tend to gravitate to, and they are really good products. But oddly enough, I didn't own any eyeshadow palettes, so I went out and bought this Maybelline eyeshadow palette, and it's the Nudes of New York. The colors were just so pretty, and I felt, you know, just so versatile that they would work for anybody. So this is the one I bought, and now that we have our brows done and our eyebrows primed, we're going to jump in and do our eyes now. Starting out with our eyes, we're going to dip into this shade right here, which is called Explorer. And I'm going to take that and I'm going to just apply it into my crease. I'm just gonna kind of buff it out and then buff it up just a little bit, just to kind of erase the harshness of the lines a little. Just like that. And so that's gonna be like our transition shade. Next shade we're gonna dip into is this shade right here, which is called Creator. And we're going to apply this shade right above where we laid down the first shade called Explorer. And that's also just to help buff out the color so we can eliminate any lines and get a smooth transitional blend. Next shade, we're going to dip into this shade right here called Soloist. And so what that's going to do is just soften up all around, giving us a nice little clean foundation. And feel free to go back and forth to help build up color, to help build up the intensity that you want. Go back and forth always with brushes to get that blend. I'm not too concerned about what's going on down here because eventually we're going to just cover that up. My concern is from crease and up right now. And don't be afraid to drag it out if you need to, if that's what's going to help to get you that nice blend, because eventually we'll clean everything up, which is also really nice. The really nice thing about doing your eyes first, because you can clean everything up and not have to worry about messing up your foundation. Next shade we're going to go into right here is the shade right here called Globetrotter. And I'm going to take this and I'm going to apply it to the outer corner of my eye. Now focusing on the lid. This shade is super pigmented and it's super pretty. So far all the shades are really pretty and pigmented. I will say that they do have a lot of fallout, which is not a big deal to me when it comes to eyeshadows as long as they perform well. But I know some people care a lot about that. Like I said, especially since I do my eyes first, it's not really that big of an issue for me. So I'm going to kind of just wing it out a little bit and then just kind of blend inwards. I'm going to use, circular motions to help also blend that shade Globetrotter in with the shade Explorer, which is that very first shade that we applied. Now just going in with the brush that we used with Explorer. I'm not applying any more of the eyeshadow, so I'm just using what's left on the brush to help blend that all together. And then I'm also going to take it right here to help blend this out. It doesn't look so harsh. The next shade I'm going to be applying with my fingers, just because it's going to help it stick and pop better. And I'm going to take this shade right here, which is called Dreamer, which is a very like pinky champagne color. It's super pretty. Taking that on my finger, I'm just pressing it onto the lid all over here, and more towards focusing on the inner corner because that's where we want the most brightness. And now I'm going to take the brush that I used Explorer on just to help blend that all together, give it a nice clean look like always. Taking the brush that I used Globetrotter on, also just building it up, building up that intensity to make it look beautiful. And I'm loving the way that looks. So I'm going to take a makeup wipe and just clean up here to give us a nice clean edge. For eyeliner, I'm going in with one of my favorites, which is the NYX Matte Liquid Liner. We are going to create ourselves a wing. So I like to start in the middle. And then I can use this line that we cleaned up as a guide for that wing. Feel free to bring that out or make it less if you want. I tend to like mine more dramatic. Also, if you tend to mess up doing this part, it's also super easy to go back and clean up because we don't have any foundation on yet. With mascara now, I'm going in with one of my favorites, and this is by Rimmel. This is the Scandaleyes Curve Alert Mascara. And I'm only going to apply to the top because we're only going to throw our lashes on. We're not going to finish the bottom yet. So I'm putting some here at the top. Getting ready for our lashes. And I accidentally threw away the packaging for the lashes, but I will link down below the exact lashes I used, and they're by Ardell. They are the double Wispies in number 113, some of my favorites, so I will link it down below so that way you can see the exact ones that I applied. And they're actually really perfect for every day. So I'm going to pop those on and then we'll come back and finish our face. So next part of our video, we are going to be doing our face. Starting off with primer. One of my favorite ones is by L'Oreal, and this is the Infallible Matte Lock Mattifying Primer. This one, like I swear, I actually almost need a new one because I love it so much. So I'm just going to take a little bit of that, and I like to really focus it around my nose areas where I tend to get more oily, and then whatever left over, bring it to the rest of my face. And for foundation, I actually have a few favorites. One of the ones that has been like my diehard favorite, I want to say for like the last 10 years, they used to have it, it was discontinued, and then they brought it back, which is this Maybelline 24-hour Super Stay Foundation. Not current, I guess, but I wish I would have stumbled upon it sooner. It's this Wet n Wild Photo Focus Foundation. And just lately, one of my new favorites is also the L'Oreal Infallible 24-hour Fresh Wear. And for the sake of using the L'Oreal primer, we're going to go in with the Fresh Wear foundation. So I'm going to just pump a couple of those. And then the sponge I'm using is by Real Techniques. So very drugstore and affordable. Don't forget the neck. And then I'm just going to buff out the foundation. Now the sponge I'm using is actually the body sponge. It's like body and contour. I'll link the exact name down below. Get the whole foundation job done super quick just because of how big it is, and it's such a time saver. Now we're going to move on to concealer, and going in again because like I said, this is honestly one of my favorites. The e.l.f. 16-hour Camo Concealer. We're going to go in with this one now and apply our concealer. I just like to dot a little bit. I like to save my under eyes last because I like to go in with powder right away after it's blended out to help prevent creasing. So I'm gonna blend this out and then already have my powder ready to be applied. Now that our concealer is blended out, I'm gonna go in with my all-time favorite. I use this every day and I've used it ever since I started doing makeup. It's just my #1 favorite. It is the Rimmel Stay Matte Powder. I like to take some of this on the sponge, and I don't like to just go all over all my face with it. I'm just gonna go right here under my chin, just the places I tend to get more oily or shiny. Especially around my nose. I will go around my nose. Now I'm going to go under my under eyes. Normally if I'm going for a really heavy dramatic look, I will bake, but for more everyday, I don't. Just because it takes up too much time. So for bronzer, also one of my favorites, because like I said, skin products, face products are my favorite, and Drugstore do produce a lot of good skin products, face products. So going in with my Physicians formula, this is the Butter Bronzer in the shade Sunkissed Bronzer. I'm going to put it here on my forehead. We're just going to help make everything look warmer. Give us a little bit of a contour, so I like to go in here, kind of taking it from the top of my ear here, bringing it down, keeping it about where my mouth is. And then I'll just kind of blend whatever's left of it up here into my temple. I like to just pinch it and just kind of get the nose a little bit. I'm not too big on nose contouring. I already got a pretty round face, so I'm not gonna make it dramatically slimmer right now. And then I like to get right here, like kind of behind the ear, and then just kind of making my chin up here just a little more contoured, since I don't really have a really defined chin. For blush, I am going in with this Milani powder blush, and this is in the shade Coral Cove. It's super pretty on the skin, very springy. I'm excited for spring. I mean, who else? I'm over this cold weather already. This year I was not into it. So I'm just gonna kind of, where I put the bronzer, gonna keep the blush right here more towards the apple of my cheeks. I don't like a whole lot of blush, so I like to go in just more with the light hand, just to give our face a little bit more color. I like to just get the little tip of my nose. But if you like blush, feel free to go in. And I'm just going in with the powder brush that doesn't have anything on it, just to help blend it all together. Now we're going to go in with highlighter. And one of my favorites also is by Pixi. And this is the Glowy GOSSAMER Duo. This is in Subtle Sunrise. So it's got more of a gold champagne color and more of a pink champagne. And we're going to go in with the gold side. Y'all already know I like to be very highlighted. So I'm going to go right here on the tip of my nose. Now is when I like to go in, and I will spritz my whole face. Taking that sponge again and just pressing that in. So now we're going to finish up our under eyes, and I'm going to go in with this Pixi Endless Silky Eye Pen. It's also one of my favorites. It's super dark and it stays in my waterline like the whole day. So I'm just going to apply it to the waterline. Kind of be a little bit messy with it so that way we can kind of smoke out our bottom. And from the palette, I'm going to take that shade Explorer one more time on a little bit more of a flatter brush here. And I'm going to kind of put that right underneath where we applied our eyeliner. And then I'm going to take that brush that we started with Creator on it, and I'm going to still use Creator with the same brush and just blend out that shade Explorer now. And now with an even smaller brush, I'm going to take this shade right here called Voyager. And that's going to go right up against my bottom lash line. Get that right in there. See how that adds more of a dramaticness? I'm going to focus it more right up against those lashes like that. I'm going to take the shade up here, which is a very light champagne color, and it is in the shade name is called Originator. I'm going to just take that on a little pencil brush, and I'm going to pop this right into our inner corner just to give us more of a dramatic look. See how much more different that looks. So nice. This is actually a really nice palette, very versatile, and you can create so many looks with it. So for lips, we're going to go in with this Infallible Pro Matte Liquid Lipstick, and this is in the shade Candyman, which is from their Chocolates collection. And it actually smells like chocolate. So there you guys have it for today's video. I hope you guys really liked this drugstore / affordable makeup tutorial. If you guys liked it and want to see more like this, then please let me know down below. I'm a little tempted to go out and buy some more of these drugstore eyeshadow palettes. This one really surprised me. I love how neutral and versatile these colors are, and I feel like a lot of people could really relate to using a palette like that. So hopefully you guys check it out, and I will catch you guys in the next video. So thank you for watching.